Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host Chris1 and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we talk about Warhammer 40K in the broad sense as we get into 40 facts about the warp. The Immaterium, also referred to as the Ether, the Sea of Souls, the Realm of Chaos, Warp Space, or most commonly the Warp, is an alternative dimension of pure psychic energy that echoes and underlines the familiar four dimensions of the material universe. The psychic energy that makes up the Immaterium is believed to be the direct result of the existence of sentience in the universe, in particular the intelligent species of the Milky Way galaxy. Considered to be a dark reflection of the material universe, the warp is an ocean of chaotic psychic energy, raw emotion given physical form. The Immaterium is also rumored by many cultures, human and Xenos alike, to be the final resting place of the spirit of the dead, and therefore can be considered the underworld of the Warhammer 40K universe. The time difference between real space and warp space are quite drastic. Not only does time pass at different rates in both kinds of spaces, but it also passes at very variable rates. Until a void ship finishes its jump, it is impossible for a ship's crew to know exactly how long their journey has taken. Time passing in real space is referred to as real time. Time passing on board a spacecraft is referred to warp time. The barrier between reality and the warp is not equally strong across the galaxy. In some places, the veil is thin, allowing the influence of the warp to leach through. Such areas might be permanent or temporary, and could be of nearly any size, the result of random chance or the intentional act of a cult. Some are a result of experiments performed during the Dark Age of technology, while others are a side effect of psychic activity, or a great accumulation of emotions or death. In the Ascalon sector, for example, the unpredictable currents of the pandemonium batter the shores of reality, weakening the barrier between dimensions. Various disturbing phenomenon can manifest in areas where the veil is thin. Such places are often considered haunted or ill-omened, for people might hear voices, glimpse movement out of the corner of their eyes, or experience nightmares or even waking visions. In these areas, temperatures plummet or fluctuate, and auspex and scanners provide inconsistent or contradicting readings. Individuals might feel a sense of wrongness that they cannot describe, or strange and disturbing sensations from tingling on the skin to the smell of burning flesh. The ruinous powers of chaos and their demonic servants are known to inhabit the portion of the Immaterium, often called the Realm of Chaos. Demons are only able to exist within the Immaterium unless certain conditions are met within the material realm. The Immaterium is what empowers the demonic and mortal servants alike of the four Chaos Gods, and their followers will undertake any action to increase their power and their standing with their unholy masters. Each of the Chaos Gods maintains his own kingdom within the Realm of Chaos, the nature of which matches his own personality and interests exactly. The Realm of Chaos is marked by nearly constant warfare and strife between the demonic servants of the ruinous powers, who constantly scheme and battle against one another in an eternal struggle for dominance that can never be won. The Chaos Gods and their servants are consumed by the struggle, and in truth pay very little attention to the doings in real space, except when the actions of the mortals either present a threat to the Chaos Gods' continual activities, or an opportunity for the ruinous powers to enhance their position against one another in the eternal conflict. The Formless Wastes, also known as the Chaotic Abyss and the Land of Lost Souls, are those regions of the Immaterium that do not fall under the domain of one of the four Chaos Gods. Much of its landscape is simply a terrain of pure chaos that is forming and reforming constantly based on the physical currents rolling the minds of the sentient mortals of the Milky Way galaxy, as well as the psychic currents of the Realm of Chaos. The Formless Wastes are a place where the laws of physics hold no sway. Within the Formless Wastes sits rivers of tar that flow through putrefied woodlands beneath crimson skies. Great stairways ascend into the heavens where they connect back on themselves in an endless sloop. These celestial stairways sit alongside castles crafted from the bones and fortresses of ichor while pillars of fire burn on the horizon. Every dream, nightmare, and vision ever had by one of the sentient races of the galaxy has a representation within the formless wastes. The wastes are also the home of demonic furies, who watch for any prey, mortal or demon, that comes within their reach. Those greater demons and demon princes that are strong enough to maintain a level of psychic control over their environment within the warp also make their homes within the wastes. These islands of horrific stability stand out within the chaotic wilderness, with some only appearing for an instant, while others are as old as the ruinous powers themselves. Each of these subrealms is a small extension of the realms of chaos that embodies the whims of its creator, and has a shrine or temple dedicated to its belief. Some are even populated by demons born from the mind of the greater demons or demon princes, though these entities are usually short-lived, as they tend to be consumed by the furies that populate the formless wastes, and are much weaker than the demons of the four major gods. The minor chaos gods are also believed to sometimes maintain presence within the formless wastes. Also within the formless wastes of the Immaterium resides the dark demonic foundry known as the Forge of Souls. The mind of every sentient being in the material universe, except the Necrons and the Catan, leaves a psychic imprint within the Immaterium, and although the signature of one mind is almost insignificant to the energy or influence it generates, when the imprints of the entire intelligent races of billions upon billions of individuals are combined, they have a huge impact on the very nature and shape of the warp. This implies that the Immaterium is not chaotic by nature, but has been made so by the chaos and war that define so much of the material realm. When an emotion or faith in an entity or concept grows strong enough, it actually becomes one of the denizens of the warp. Many of these beings vanish when the emotion or beliefs that create them pass, but the strongest and most archaic can become self-perpetuating, spreading the thoughts and events that grant them form and power, even interacting with the material world in a way that further strengthens the beliefs and attitudes that give them existence. The strongest of these beings become the gods and demons associated with a specific group or culture, and almost every single intelligent race or force of will has its universal concepts of religious figures personified in some way by the warp, be they chaos, Eldar, orc, or human. The extrasensory, seemingly magical abilities of the psychically gifted individuals known in the Immaterium of man as psychers are powered by the energies of the warp, and when such power is used, the demons and creatures of the Immaterium are drawn to the psycher's mind, like moths to a flame. To learn more, please visit our 40 facts about psychers. Many cultures of the Milky Way galaxy, both human and Xenos, believe that the Immaterium is the final resting place for the souls or spirits of the dead. Certainly there is some truth to this notion. The Eldar believe that upon their deaths, their souls travel into the warp, where they are immediately devoured by their race's ancient enemy, the Chaos God Slaanesh. Among the mortal servants of the Chaos Gods, there is no doubt, when a mortal dies in real space, his soul is immediately swept into the warp at the moment his physical body dies, where it will be devoured by the demons and the warp entities, or made into their playthings for all eternity. The only salvation from this grim fate is to give oneself over, body and soul, to the worship and service of the ruinous powers, either collectively as chaos undivided, or individually as the dark gods may grant their own successful and powerful followers a favored place within the realm of chaos upon their death. The devotees of many variants of the Imperium of Man's imperial cult also believe that when a person dies, his soul is transported to the warp, but a devout worshipper of the God Emperor of mankind holds that the Emperor protects his faithful within the warp from all entities that might seek to harm them and gather the souls of the faithful to himself. Only someone who has not been faithful to the Emperor and carried out his will or obeyed his commandments is at risk of being devoured by demons of the warp, or otherwise punished within the Immaterium. In this way, the devotees of the imperial cult see the warp as an analog to the old Judeo-Christian concept of heaven and hell. Whether there is any truth to this belief is unknown, but the psychic nature of the immaterium means that the collective and strongly held belief of mortals in real space tend to take on reality of their own within the warp, and there are a great many human beings in the galaxy, and a great many of them are fanatical believers in the imperial cult. What is known with certainty is that those men and women of the Imperium who have displayed unshakable faith in their concept of the God Emperor have sometimes been able to enact feats that could only be considered miraculous by any fair use of the term. These feats have been particularly potent when deployed as weapons against the servants of chaos, demonic and mortal alike. It may be possible that, as the ancient creed tells us, the Emperor protects. On rare occasions, the realm of the immaterium is able to break out into the physical universe in what is known as a warp rift. A warp rift is a weakening of the barrier between real space and the immaterium, allowing its creatures to enter the material universe. They can take many forms, often whirlpools of raw psychic power, other times as terrifying glimpses into the realm of chaos. They have also appeared as gates of green fire, clouds of shadow, boiling lakes of pus, and other terrifying visions capable of driving mortals mad. A number of different factors can induce the formation of a warp rift in real space, including the unpredictable movements of the warp causing a break into real space, the demon possession of a mortal, deliberate rituals of demon summonings carried out by chaos cultists, or as a result of the unified will of the major chaos gods. Notable warp rifts include the Eye of Terror, the Maelstrom, the Storm of the Emperor's Wrath in the Cardrid sector, Van Groth's Rapidity near the world of Medusa 5, the Here of Darkness near the Attila system, Hell's Gullet in the Berlian system, and the Screaming Vortex. The warp is an extremely volatile medium. At times, disturbances can turn areas of the warp into raging storms of destructive fury that can breach the barriers into real space. These storms can last for days, months, even standard centuries. These warp storms can isolate star systems and entire sectors from each other by making the Imperium's normal methods of interstellar travel and communication impossible, as the warp surrounding those regions becomes too chaotic for a starship to safely travel through, or for an astropath to send or receive a telepathic message through the psychic interference. These storms can last for an unknown amount of time, and can occasionally break out into the material universe, creating a temporary warp rift that can result in an incursion by the forces of chaos into the Imperial space. Starships caught in these storms are likely at best to be driven far off course, and emerge back into real space thousands of light years from the intended destination, in uncharted areas of the galaxy. While uncommon, some starships, after making their way through the immaterium for only a short time, will emerge from the warp only to find an entire Terran century has passed in real space. Such an occurrence is more likely to happen when a vessel is traveling through a region of the warp affected by a warp storm, or an unusual psychic turbulence. And those were 40 facts about the warp. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to be talking more about the warp later on, so please subscribe to the channel so that you can get that. We're going to be talking about warp travel, or how the Imperium warp travels, and then we're going to be talking about the entities that inhabit the warp. They're not just chaos gods or chaos demons. There's way more. There's vampires, there's a bunch of stuff. So please subscribe to the channel to get that. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing. Because of you and because of all the patrons on Patreon, we can continue to put out Warhammer 40K content every single day. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate signing out.